past weekend, I went undercover as a Democrat voter to a Tesla protest here in Atlanta, Georgia. I wanted to go undercover to better understand, first of all, why they're protesting, but also I wanted to find out, are they actually being paid to protest?
I was one of the paid protesters at the April 5th liberal protests. And so I just wanted to come on and talk about my experience, what I had to do to get paid, and how much I got paid. So there were two kind of parts to it. The first was obviously just showing up. They gave me like a time.
And I wanted to be one in the number of millions of people that were standing in rain, standing across the country, coast to coast, and speaking up. So I've been pushing it still.
How happy were you to see all the folks that came out around the country?
Yeah.
It was for me food for the soul. You didn't see partisan band waving. You saw Americans standing up for Americans. Because we really are at a moral moment, as we've been generations past in the suffrage movement, the civil rights movement, the labor movement, the LGBTQ movement. So many movements we've seen Americans join arms, a rainbow coalition standing up for what's right.
And this ain't a one-time thing. This is going to stay. This is going to stay with Americans every day until the stuff is fixed.
Yes, I believe you've seen the introduction of this video where people are coming out to confess I was paid to demonstrate. When you take a look at this, Laura sent this out. Can you, Marco Rubio, work together with real Homan to investigate registered agents of the Chinese and buses that were used yesterday to transport anti-Trump protesters to Washington, D.C.? Many attendees who walked up the buses had these flags. But when you take a look at this Democrat on the view saying, oh, they were standing there just representing America, but we saw these kind of flags in these locations. When you take a look here, you can actually see someone walking out of the bus like they transported them from different locations. Who is sponsoring this? The question will be answered soon. This lady came out, she is going viral on social media after confessing like she was paid to do this. At the end of the video, I'm going to show you something. So watch the video to the end. If you're not subscribed to this channel, please never should do that. It will do you no harm. If you share this video.
I was one of the paid protesters at the April 5th liberal protests. And so I just wanted to come on and talk about my experience, what I had to do to get paid, and how much I got paid. So there were two kind of parts to it. The first was obviously just showing up. They gave me like a time and a place and told me to look for a girl with blue hair and a nose ring, which like I thought would be really hard because I thought like everyone was gonna look like that, but luckily, she was the only one. It was really easy to find her. So yeah, that was good. I checked in. They told you that you couldn't wear anything MAGA. They also asked you not to wear red. So I just wore a black t-shirt and jeans. And yeah, I checked in and then they said just like go on the march. And then at the end, there would be like a questionnaire to answer. Oh, and then the other thing is they said they would pay extra if you brought a sign. So I did bring a sign. Again, same thing, like couldn't be MAGA, had to like be in line with like the liberal agenda. So my sign said, everyone deserves a good education, which like I don't necessarily personally agree with. Like if you're gonna be a server or like a mechanic, like you don't really need an education, but I wanted to fit in. I wanted the money. And I didn't want to like draw attention to myself. So that's what I went with. So anyways, I went on the march and then at the end I had to check back in and that's when they gave me the questionnaire. And okay, the interesting thing is like you had to answer the questionnaire as if you were a liberal and there were right and wrong answers. Like it wasn't just like whatever you thought, like you could get the questions wrong and you had to get them right in order to get paid. At this point, I had already invested like 2 hours of my time, so I wanted the money, you know? So the first question, for example, was why do Republicans want more women to stay home and not work and not have jobs? And again, I just kind of like had to put myself in like their mindset. So I wrote basically like if women don't have jobs or job experiences and they have to rely on men financially, and that gives men a lot more control over their lives. For example, like, you know, if like she's in an abusive situation or whatever, she can't really leave, especially if she has kids. She doesn't really have the means to take care of them, and she doesn't have the experience to get a job that could like afford to take care of them. So it just gives like the men a lot more control to kind of do what they want her to do, basically. So that was my answer for the first one, and I got that right. But there were some that I just like didn't really know what they would consider a right answer, you know. I got paid $100 for going to the protest, and then I got paid an extra $10 for bringing the sign.
This past weekend, I went undercover as a Democrat voter.
Yes, if you actually realize what she said here, like she was paid $110 for that, $10 for bringing a sign, 100 for demonstrating. You can see exactly what is going on here. Elon Musk said this, and people didn't believe. This guy did an experiment. He called himself like a Democrat. He actually went into some of these places to see if people are being paid. His research tell me a lot about what is going on. I wanted to see the twist in this video. I'm just going to show you so you see exactly what he saw. A lot of people argue on the comment sections when they watch the video. It is important and show you. Take a look at this.
This past weekend, I went undercover as a Democrat voter to a Tesla protest here in Atlanta, Georgia. I wanted to go undercover to better understand, first of all, why they're protesting, but also I wanted to find out, are they actually being paid to protest? I just wanted to investigate this claim of Elon Musk that they are literally paid protesters. So first of all, here's the demographic of the people at the protest. The majority of the people that I saw there were white boomers. And the boomers would sometimes even have their parents there with them. The women had really nice name brand bags and purses, and the husbands looked like they were just dragged out there. I'm telling you guys this because this doesn't fit the demographic of people who are paid to protest. And this also kind of debunks the left's claim that these are disenfranchised MAGA voters. All of these people voted for Kamala. But that doesn't mean that George Soros didn't fund this and didn't organize this with his money. So the people protesting may not be actually paid, but the people who organized the protest are, and I'm going to show you guys how. This right here is one of those paid organizers, and I'm going to show you guys exactly how she gets paid. Remember last year with the college encampments, how certain George Soros-tied organizations received endless amount of money from George Soros so they can disperse it to organizers? And those organizers were getting paid upwards of $7,800 just to protest for 8 hours a week? Well, the exact same thing is happening here. Here are 5 radical leftist groups protesting Elon Musk, one of which received $7.6 million, none other than from George Soros. And one of those groups, known as Invisible Project, received that $7.6 million from George Soros to do exactly what you guys are seeing, to boycott and to protest anything related to President Trump. So it's very safe to say that the people protesting are probably not getting paid, but the organizers, they're getting a nice paycheck. So Elon, you're right in a sense. These people aren't paid protesters, but the people organizing this definitely are.
After today, I get it now. I understand why everyone is being called to leave the Democratic Party right now.
Yes, when you take a look at the whole situation, at the end of the day, you can just do a lot of conclusions on what is going on. They are being paid, though some are not paid. Majority of these people with signs like coming in crew buses, they are paid to do that. It is something coordinated, yeah, from the way I look at it. Some can argue that these are just lies. We have no proofs. This lady who actually said she was paid to demonstrate, I really wanted to see her in the field. I wanted a video or a picture to see her doing that. This lady I put out yesterday actually proved something. A lot of people saw like this is demonic. They saw demonic signs in certain places. She was a Democrat. She had to leave the party as a result of that. That opened up my brain to what is going on. And Democrats are twisting it like the whole country came out to demonstrate. That is a lie. Some are paid, and just people who don't like Trump came out.
So the latest unbelievable, insulting nonsense from Gavin Newsom is this statement he's put out about Trump's tariffs hurting our farmers here in California and raising construction costs because of tariffs on timber. This is unbelievable that he's got the nerve to say this. Who's crushing California farmers right now? Not Trump's tariffs. It's Newsom and the Democrats and their stupid policies taking away the water that our farmers need.
Spare all I have to say, Democrats, call your office. You know, we're March Madness times. Terrible, terrible, terrible. To quote the great Charles Barkley, view Democratic Party favorably. CNN SRS, look at this, 29%. NBC News, you want to go lower than that? How about 27? NBC News.
He knows nothing about the economy. He just decides, as a narcissistic disorder would, I know better than anybody. Forget about the economists who know better. Forget about people who know history. I alone can fix it.
Have a great day, everyone. Take a little time to enjoy the view. And remember, the resistance is real. You're not alone.
Has anyone else noticed how women on the left are the most miserable group of people? So
Harris is not president. Trump is. And if you don't like him 12 years ago, you don't like him now. And I get it. I completely get it. But that's not the issue. Let's talk about the situation here.
Yes, thank you guys who has been there sharing out my videos. God bless you abundantly. If you see clips after this, that is just for the YouTube algorithm. I always put a...
He started on how disgraced must these law firms be?
Trump that wish the Kamala
and a lot of people who didn't vote.
And finally, new rule to those on the right.
Isn't exactly getting the hero's welcome.
That the Americans finally realized what the reality was.
This is a Fox News alert, a crushing blow for Democrats who had hoped against hope.
Brad Schimmel, that has included Elon Musk pouring tens of millions of dollars.
I think you saw a repudiation of the fact that...
I do think the Republican takeaways tonight are going to...
The margin right now, Randy Fine...
Everybody, he had never been to the White House.
Everything you want.